Tag TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India.
You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Monday, the 11th of September. World hails India's presidency after G20 summit success. Pakistan's Bilawal Bhutto accuses former allies of being scared of elections. And Maldivian presidential election heads for a crucial runoff. And now for all the details. The blockbuster G20 summit in India's capital New Delhi concluded successfully over the weekend as it witnessed several path-breaking initiatives like Biofuel Alliance to decisions like permanent membership for the African Union. Take a look. The G20 Leaders Summit in New Delhi concluded on Sunday as Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi handed over the ceremonial gavel to Brazilian President Lula da Silva, the next chair of the summit. The two-day-long mega event, which was based on the theme of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, witnessed several path-breaking initiatives and decisions, including the inclusion of the African Union as a permanent member, the first expansion of the bloc since its inception.
À ma grande satisfaction, l'admission du G20 a été actée dès l'ouverture du sommet. Son Excellence Monsieur Modi, Premier ministre de l'Inde, et les membres du G20 ont entériné l'adhésion de l'Union africaine au sein de cette grande instance décisionnelle économique.
In a major diplomatic victory for India, the summit adopted the Leaders' Declaration with consensus. The agreement was reached on the Delhi Declaration despite hard stance and differing views on the Russia-Ukraine crisis by the member nations, which many believed could have derailed the meeting. The summit resolution has received praises from leaders of various countries, including Russia, Germany, and the European Union, who said India's leadership was key to agreeing the G20 summit message. On the sidelines of the summit, US, India, and Saudi Arabia also announced plans to set up rail and port link between the Middle East and South Asia, a move seen as counter for China's Belt and Road. India, US along with Italy, Bangladesh, Singapore, Brazil, Argentina, Mauritius and UAE also launched a global biofuel alliance intends to expedite the global uptake of biofuels.
It was momentous because in a normal multilateral process, you have to go right up to the end of any summit to attain an outcome document or consensus on an outcome document. In today's day of, I would say, differing views on geopolitical issues, the fact that we have come up with a consensus document with the support of each and every one of our G20 partners.
PM Modi on the sidelines also held more than a dozen bilateral engagements with world leaders. During his meeting with his Canadian counterpart, Justin Trudeau, he also conveyed strong concerns about the continued anti-India activities of extremist elements in Canada. Prime Minister mentioned that a relationship based on mutual respect and trust is essential for the progress of the India-Canada relationship, a government statement read. And Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday held delegation-level talks with Crown Prince and Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. The two leaders also discussed all aspects of bilateral relations, including political, security, defense and trade, along with regional and international issues of mutual interest. The two leaders also co-chaired the first leaders' meeting of India-Saudi Strategic Partnership Council. The Saudi Crown Prince had arrived in India on Saturday to attend the G20 Leadership Summit. Moving on, Pakistan People's Party Chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari said on Sunday that his party would not run away from elections like some of its former allies, as this would create a vacuum in politics. His statement comes as he had earlier reiterated his party's Central Executive Committee's stance on holding the elections within the 90-day constitutional limit after the dissolution of assemblies. The coalition government's term ended last month with the premature dissolution of the National Assembly 3 days before its constitutionally mandated period. However, the country's caretaker Prime Minister Anwar al-Haq Kakkar has said that polls could be held before February next year. And a prominent Kashmiri activist, while highlighting the plight of people in POK, said that residents in the occupied region have been crying for help from India as they grapple with inflation and shortage of even basic amenities. A report. Massive anti-Pakistan protests are raging across Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, with people angry over skyrocketing inflation, imposition of heavy taxes and shortage of food. Political activist Shabir Chaudhary, voicing their concerns, admitted that the people in POK are seeking help from Prime Minister Narendra Modi to free them from the illegal occupation of Pakistan. He lambasted Islamabad has systematically exploited resources of POK while people are not even getting basic rights.
बहुत से लोगों ने सुना है कि LOC के नज़दीक जहाँ पर हिंदुस्तानी फ़ौजी सामने नज़र आते हैं, तो मुख्तलिफ जगह हैं ऐसी, तो उन्होंने कहा कि वहाँ पर खड़े होकर उन्होंने नारे लगाए और उन्होंने कहा कि मोदी को बोलो कि हमें भी आज़ाद कराए और हमारी जान बचाए, हम यहाँ पर भूख से मरे जा रहे हैं.
Activists have long claimed that with no legal recourse available, an assertive international intervention is the only way the hapless people can be saved from imminent doom. And Maldivian President Ibrahim Mohamed Solih, who is seeking a second term, is going to face a runoff election later this month, following a stiff competition from his main opponent, Mohamed Muizi, in Saturday's presidential race. Results from the first round showed Muizi ahead, but short of the 50% needed to win outright. Notably, India, China and several other countries are closely monitoring the election, as the outcome will have ramifications for geopolitics in the wider region. Solih, seeking a second 5-year term, has championed an India-first policy during his time in power. Muizi entered the fray after former President Abdullah Yameen was banned from contesting the election by the Supreme Court in August following a conviction for corruption and money laundering. Moving on, Sri Lanka's President Ranil Wickremesinghe on Sunday announced an investigation into the allegations made by a British documentary report that former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa was complicit in the deadly 2019 Eastern Sunday attack. In a statement, Wickremesinghe said the findings of the new inquiry would be referred to a parliamentary panel for action. The alleged involvement of local intelligence operatives in the attacks has already been raised in Sri Lankan courts, but no one has been prosecuted. 9 suicide bombers belonging to local Islamist extremist group carried out the series of blasts that tore through 3 churches and 3 luxury hotels, resulting in the killing of 279 people. And a unique cricket match held in Srinagar, city of India's Jammu and Kashmir this past weekend witnessed participation of wheelchair-bound players who demonstrated their cricketing abilities with great enthusiasm and determination. The event was organized by the Wheelchair Cricket Association in association with the White Globe NGO and the Indian Army. It received a significant support and appreciation from the local community.
जैसे आप जानते हैं कि प्रेजेंटली अगर देखें हम हर कोई इंसान जो है वो ज़िंदगी में बहुत परेशान है, डिप्रेशन में है, तो इस किस्म के लोग जो है हमारी तरह जो भी लोग हैं वो ज़्यादातर इन हालात में रहते हैं, तो स्पोर्ट्स एक्टिविटीज़ से जो है इनकी कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग होती है और तो इसके साथ साथ जो इनका डिप्रेशन है वो ख़त्म हो जाता है और को-करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज़ में आने से इनकी फिटनेस रहती है.
Well, the cricket match aimed to promote inclusivity in the sport and encourage people with disabilities to showcase their talents.
जाहिर सी बात है, पहले एक चीज़ होता था जब कोई पर्सन विद डिसेबिलिटी घर में पैदा होता था या किसी एक्सीडेंट्स की वजह से स्पाइनल कॉर्ड हो गया या कुछ हो गया, तो उसको एक बेकार मतलब माना जाता था कि ये घर में ही रहेगा, इसकी खिदमत करनी पड़ेगी. अब वो आइडियोलॉजी हम बाहर इसीलिए आ रहे हैं कि वो आइडियोलॉजी चेंज की जाए. वो माइंडसेट जो कहीं ना कहीं था जिससे बहुत सारे लोगों को बहुत सारी मुश्किलात का सामना करना पड़ा, बहुत सारे लड़कों ने सुसाइड किया. मेरे पास बहुत सारे.
That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.
Tag TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India.